Knowledge grows? JustProfessor here. You see a shocking headline. It confirms what you already suspected. You share it immediately. 10 minutes later, someone points out it's completely fake. You just spread misinformation to hundreds of people. You're not stupid. You're human. And your brain has specific weaknesses that fake news is designed to exploit. You think you can spot fake news easily. Obvious lies, manipulated photos, made-up quotes. You'd never fall for that stuff. But fake news doesn't work by fooling stupid people. It works by exploiting how everyone's brain processes information. Your brain wants stories that confirm what you believe. It wants emotional content that feels important. It wants simple explanations for complex problems. Fake news gives your brain exactly what it craves. And before your critical thinking can catch up, you've already believed it, shared it, and defended it. This isn't about intelligence. It's about understanding why your brain is wired to fall for lies. Fake news susceptibility is your brain's tendency to believe and share false information because it matches your existing beliefs, triggers strong emotions, or feels intuitively true. You don't carefully evaluate every piece of information you encounter. You can't. Your brain uses shortcuts to decide what's true. Does it match what you already think? Does it trigger an emotional reaction? Does it come from someone you trust? If yes, your brain accepts it without deep analysis. This speed and efficiency usually work fine, but they create huge vulnerabilities. The problem is fake news is specifically designed to exploit these shortcuts. It's crafted to match what certain groups already believe. It's engineered to trigger strong emotions like anger or fear. It's formatted to look like real news from trustworthy sources. Every element is optimized to bypass your critical thinking and go straight to acceptance. And once you've accepted something as true, your brain fights to keep believing it even when shown it's false. This makes fake news dangerous in ways traditional lies weren't. Old-style lies required convincing you of something new. Fake news just reinforces what you already suspect. Old lies spread slowly through person-to-person contact. Fake news spreads instantly through social media to millions. Old lies could be corrected by trusted authorities. Fake news lives in environments where corrections are seen as part of the conspiracy. Your brain's vulnerabilities are being exploited at scale. What makes this especially bad is that intelligence doesn't protect you. Smart people are just as susceptible to fake news as anyone else when it matches their beliefs and triggers their emotions. Being educated or informed doesn't make you immune. In fact, sometimes it makes you more confident in fake news that aligns with your worldview. You think your intelligence means you're good at spotting lies, but your intelligence mostly helps you find reasons to justify believing things you want to believe. Let me show you exactly how fake news exploits your brain's weaknesses. The biggest vulnerability is confirmation bias. Your brain loves information that confirms what you already think and suspects information that contradicts it. Fake news creators know this. They craft stories that tell people exactly what they want to hear. If you already distrust politicians, fake news about political corruption gets accepted immediately. If you already suspect media bias, fake news about media manipulation feels obviously true. Research shows people share fake news stories without reading them. Headlines alone are enough. You see a headline that matches your beliefs, triggers emotion, and seems shareable. You hit share before checking if the story is real. Your brain already decided it's true based on the headline matching your worldview. Actually reading the article and checking sources feels unnecessary. This is why fake news headlines are so carefully crafted. They don't need to convince you, they just need to match what you already believe. Emotional content makes fake news spread faster than accurate news. Studies analyzing millions of posts found that false stories spread 6 times faster than true stories. Why? Because fake news is designed to trigger stronger emotions. Outrage, fear, disgust, tribal pride. These emotions make you want to share immediately. True news is often more boring or complex. It doesn't trigger the same emotional urgency. Your brain prioritizes emotional content over accurate content when deciding what to share. Social media creates echo chambers that amplify fake news susceptibility. Your feed shows you content similar to what you've engaged with before. You see the same perspectives, the same sources, the same narratives repeatedly. When fake news appears that matches this echo chamber, it gets reinforced by everyone around you believing and sharing it. You see 5 friends share the same fake story. Your brain interprets this as social proof that it's true. The echo chamber makes fake news feel verified when it's just widely believed within your bubble. The illusion of explanatory depth makes people overconfident about fake news. You read a fake story that provides a simple explanation for something complex. It feels like you understand the situation now. This feeling of understanding makes you confident the story is true, but you don't actually understand. You just have a simple story that creates an illusion of understanding. Real situations are complex. Fake news provides false simplicity that feels satisfying to your brain. Source confusion makes fake news more believable. You see a story on social media shared by a friend. Later, you remember the story but forget where you saw it. Your brain might misremember it as coming from a credible news source. This source confusion means fake news from unreliable sources gets mentally upgraded to seeming like real news. You remember the content, but not the sketchy origin. The story feels legitimate because you forgot it came from a random blog. Repetition increases fake news belief. You see the same false claim multiple times across different posts and platforms. Repetition makes it feel familiar. Your brain mistakes familiarity for truth. Even if you were skeptical the first time, seeing the claim repeatedly makes it feel more plausible. Fake news spreads through networks where people repeatedly share the same false stories. This repetition exploits your brain's tendency to trust familiar information. Backfire effects make corrections ineffective. Someone shows you evidence that a story you shared was fake. Instead of updating your belief, you often become more convinced the original story was true. You see the correction as evidence of a cover-up, or you find reasons to dismiss it. Your brain is protecting beliefs you've already accepted and shared. Admitting you spread fake news feels bad. It's easier to question the correction than admit you were wrong. Motivated reasoning lets smart people believe dumb things. When fake news aligns with your values or group identity, your intelligence gets used to defend it rather than evaluate it. You find sophisticated-sounding arguments for why the fake story might be true. You identify flaws in sources debunking it. Your reasoning ability becomes a tool for justifying what you want to believe rather than finding truth. So, how do you protect yourself from fake news when your brain is wired to believe stories that match your worldview and trigger emotions? How do you stop spreading lies? First, slow down before sharing. Your first instinct when seeing emotional content that matches your beliefs is to share immediately. That instinct is exactly what fake news exploits. Wait, check, verify. If the story is real, it'll still be real in 10 minutes. If it's fake, those 10 minutes might save you from spreading misinformation. Second, read beyond the headline. Most people share based on headlines alone. Actually, read the full article. Check if the content matches the dramatic headline. Look at the source. See if other credible outlets are reporting the same thing. Headlines are designed to be shared. The full article often reveals problems. Third, notice your emotional reaction. Strong emotions are a red flag, not a green light. When something makes you very angry, scared, or triumphant, that's when you're most vulnerable to fake news. Your emotional reaction is being triggered deliberately. Pause when you feel strong emotions and evaluate more carefully instead of sharing instantly. Fourth, check multiple sources. Real news gets reported by multiple credible outlets. Fake news often appears in only one place or only in partisan sources that share content with each other. Before believing something major, see if mainstream news organizations are reporting it. If only fringe sites mention it, be very skeptical. Fifth, use fact-checking sites. Organizations like Snopes and FactCheck exist specifically to evaluate viral claims. Before sharing something suspicious, search for it on fact-checking sites. If it's been debunked, you'll find out quickly. If it hasn't been checked yet, that's a reason to be cautious about sharing. Sixth, be more skeptical of content that perfectly matches your beliefs. Your brain wants to accept this content without scrutiny. That's exactly when you need more scrutiny. The stories that feel most obviously true to you are the ones most likely to bypass your critical thinking. Question what confirms your worldview as much as what challenges it. Seventh, admit when you've shared fake news. Everyone does it occasionally. When you find out something you shared was false, acknowledge it publicly. This reduces the harm and makes others more careful. Defending fake news because you already shared it just spreads more misinformation. Fake news susceptibility isn't about being stupid. It's about having normal human brains that use shortcuts to process information. Your brain accepts content that matches existing beliefs, triggers emotions, and comes from trusted sources. These shortcuts usually help you process information efficiently. But fake news is engineered to exploit exactly these shortcuts. The design of fake news takes advantage of confirmation bias, emotional triggers, social proof, and your desire for simple explanations. It spreads faster than truth because it's optimized for sharing. It survives corrections because your brain protects beliefs you've already accepted. Intelligence doesn't protect you. Smart people just use their intelligence to justify believing fake news that aligns with their values. Social media makes fake news more powerful than ever. Echo chambers mean you see the same perspectives repeatedly. Algorithms show you content similar to what you've engaged with before. Source confusion means you forget where information came from. Repetition makes lies feel familiar and true. And the speed of sharing means fake news reaches millions before fact-checkers can respond. Fighting fake news requires recognizing your vulnerabilities and deliberately slowing down. Check before sharing. Read beyond headlines. Notice emotional reactions as warning signs. Verify with multiple sources. Use fact-checking sites. Be extra skeptical of content that perfectly matches your beliefs. And admit when you've shared something false. Your brain will keep having these vulnerabilities. Fake news will keep exploiting them. But understanding how it works makes you more resistant. The next time you see a shocking story that confirms what you suspected, recognize that feeling as exactly when you're most vulnerable. That's when you need to check carefully instead of sharing immediately. Subscribe to learn more ways your brain gets manipulated online.